Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας ανέβασε στο φεγγάρι. Μας έβαλε μέσα στα μεγάλα γεγονότα. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας έφερε χρώμα. Ανέβασε την Ελλάδα ψηλά να τη βλέπει όλος ο κόσμος. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ έφερε στις τηλεοράσεις μας εικόνα υψηλής ευκρίνειας. Και σήμερα, πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας ανοίγει παράθυρο στη νέα εποχή της υβριδικής τηλεόρασης. Εκατοντάδες ώρες τηλεοπτικού προγράμματος on demand. Νέα υβριδικά κανάλια με συναρπαστικό, αποκλειστικό περιεχόμενο. Χρηστικές εφαρμογές που κάνουν πιο εύκολη την καθημερινότητα. Και όλα αυτά ελεύθερα, δωρεάν, διαδραστικά. Ετοιμαστείτε για μια νέα, καλύτερη τηλεοπτική εμπειρία. ΕΡΤ υβριδική. Πρώτα από την ΕΡΤ. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας ανέβασε στο φεγγάρι. Μας έβαλε μέσα στα μεγάλα γεγονότα. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας έφερε χρώμα. Ανέβασε την Ελλάδα ψηλά να τη βλέπει όλος ο κόσμος. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ έφερε στις τηλεοράσεις μας εικόνα υψηλής ευκρίνειας. Και σήμερα, πρώτη η ΕΡΤ. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας ανέβασε στο φεγγάρι. Μας έβαλε μέσα στα μεγάλα γεγονότα. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας έφερε χρώμα. Ανέβασε την Ελλάδα ψηλά να τη βλέπει όλος ο κόσμος. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ έφερε στις τηλεοράσεις μας εικόνα υψηλής ευκρίνειας. Και σήμερα, πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας ανοίγει παράθυρο στη νέα εποχή της υβριδικής τηλεόρασης. Εκατοντάδες ώρες τηλεοπτικού προγράμματος on demand. Νέα υβριδικά κανάλια με συναρπαστικό, αποκλειστικό περιεχόμενο. Χρηστικές εφαρμογές που κάνουν πιο εύκολη την καθημερινότητα. Και όλα αυτά ελεύθερα, δωρεάν, διαδραστικά. Ετοιμαστείτε για μια νέα, καλύτερη τηλεοπτική εμπειρία. ΕΡΤ υβριδική.
habe auf jeden Fall dabei. Wenn ihr das jetzt irgendwie, wenn du jetzt einen Akku hast, das ist nicht akut. 13%.
Soundcheck. Allô, allô?
Ένα, δύο, ένα, δύο, ένα, δύο. Ένα, δύο, ένα, δύο, ένα, δύο.
Allô, allô? Soundcheck.
Ένα, δύο, ένα, δύο, ένα, δύο. Ένα, δύο, τρία. Έλα, για πες μου λίγο που μιλάω τώρα. Παίρνεις κάτι από ηχό? Ένα, δύο, τρία. Τώρα το κλείνω, πες μου. Ωραία, το ανοίγω, το αφήνω εδώ. Τώρα μ' ακούς. Οκ, ένα, δύο, τρία.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'd like to ask you to sit down and be ready because we are going to start in a few minutes. We still have some people getting their audio guide, and we need some more people to come from the registration. Can you hear me well? Yes? So, 3 minutes to start. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes. I'm really pleased to be... You cannot hear me? Or I saw some signs? That's okay? Okay. So I'm really pleased and honored to be your guide today for the first opening plenary of our event. Welcome to Thessaloniki. We are going to start with a short input or introduction about the interpretation and interpretation material from the Coati collective with incredible, crew of guys going all around the place, covering this kind of event and doing really a lot for the movement, the food sovereignty movement, the CSA movement. We have been cooperating with them since 2012 and our first European meeting in Milano. And they have some very concrete information to give you. Kate?
Okay, hello, good morning. So yeah, like I said, we're Coati, which stands for the Collective for Self-Organization of Interpreting Equipment, and we've been working for 10 years inside the social movements to try and make technology something that is part of the social movements and not just a commercial thing that gets hired in for the conferences. There's 6 languages being translated at this conference. English, Spanish, French, Korean, Turkish, and Greek. So if you don't understand all of those languages, please do take a receiver.
So basically, all of us will be using a receiver, and then we'll be listening to the interpreters, at least in one of the sessions. So please also, when you speak, use the microphone, because otherwise the interpreters cannot hear you and cannot translate to the rest of the people. And also make some break in the talk, or like speak with a, you know, not so fast. And I don't know what's that, but it's really fun. I want one.
Because of the complex range of languages, before you speak, please say what language you're going to speak in and take a breath, because that allows the interpreters to organize themselves who is going to be translating and into what languages. If you have any problems with the sound, there's some of us, we have this t-shirt, just wave and we will come and help out. And we need, we're about keeping interpreting technology inside the social movements, which means it's really, really important that you give back the receivers. Don't take them away. And the headphones.
Yes, and you should do that 2 times per day. So before lunch, you give away all the receiver back to the table. There will be one in each of the rooms. And by the night, of course, before leaving. And if you want to have any more information about the collective and how we work, there is also a website, which is coati.pimienta.org, or come to talk with us and we'll explain you what we do and why. All right?
And it's also really good if you do speak, if your mother tongue is not English and there is translation in your language here, it's really helpful for the interpreters if you speak in your mother tongue and not in English. I know people are used to doing these conferences always in English, but that's because English is a colonial language that's been imposed on people all over the world. So please try and use our linguistic diversity as much as we can.
I think we can give a big applause to Coati. And maybe we can have a slogan like beyond borders, beyond languages. Can you hear me? Yeah. No revolution without interpretation. That's true. All right. So now I want to declare officially open the 7th International Symposium of Urgency, the 4th European meeting of CSA movements, and the second Mediterranean meeting of local and solidarity-based partnerships for agroecology. And I want to start with a new, what do you say, all-time record, which is that we have here more than 200 participants from other countries in the world. It's enormous. It's the first time we have so many people. Thanks to all of you. Did we do the test with the languages? French is okay? French? Okay. All right. I saw some people showing the hands. You know we are here in Thessaloniki, in Greece. Yeah, we just say that, okay. I chose to speak English now because we will switch to different speakers, so I'm really sorry. That's true, I'm a French-speaking, native French-speaking person, but for practical reasons I'm switching to English today. But I really share the concern about keeping the cultural diversity and the diversity of languages. Well, I can switch to French if you want at any point, but I don't want to bother the interpreters with quick changes. So we are in Thessaloniki, we are in Greece. I think we need some explanation about why we are here, why we are in this country, why we are in this town, and the fact that we are investing, coming into the town hall, the city hall. I think this is a very strong symbol. We need a little bit of background to understand what brought us here. And I think one good reason for being here is actually K'Y.Υ.Γεω, who is our passionaria, passion incarnated, put into flesh. And Jenny, I mean, a lot of people in the room know her already, and she is really dedicating her life, we can say, to the cause, to food sovereignty, to agroecology. And with other wonderful people, they just set up a new organization a few months ago, Agroecopolis. I'd like you, Jenny, to give us a little bit of background about why Greece, why Thessaloniki.
I promised I wasn't going to get emotional, but I think everybody's trying to make that happen today. Like the Czech delegation who brought me an apple tree, like a real apple tree, all the way from the Czech Republic, and thank you so much.
That was a secret.
Yeah, that was an amazing thing. I mean, I was crying early in the morning. So anyway, welcome everybody. We are so excited to have you here. And for me personally, this is really a very emotional time because it is, you know, the culmination of many years of work and of trying to do our bit for the world that we need. So, why are we in Greece and why are we in Thessaloniki? As many of you know, Greece has been going through an economic crisis. As many of you may not know, this crisis is still there. It hasn't gone, it hasn't abated. Things are actually getting worse. And I know that probably this is not the best way to start the day by making you all feel sad about what is happening in this country. But at the same time, I think that when we share news and experiences of the difficulties that our countries and our peoples are going through, it's not to make us sad. I mean, I'm so excited because I'm in a room full of people just like me, people who are doing the fight every day because we don't just want good food on our table, and we don't just want farmers to have a good living and the people in the cities to have good food. We want democracy. We want to change the world we're living in. We want the future generations to be able to enjoy this world like we did. We want clean air. We want clean water. We want the commons to be common. And so I understand what we're all trying to do here. So I'm sorry if I'm going to give you some not very uplifting information about the country you're in now, but I think that I have to do this. I feel it as my duty. And I'm just going to say that in just a few days from now, on the 20th of November, we are launching the report we did together with the Transnational Institute, TNI, and FIAN on the impact of austerity to the human right to food in Greece. We are launching this in Brussels on the 20th, and it's pretty clear from our report that these austerity measures in the last 8 years have really dismantled not just the social structure and the economic structure of the country. I mean, in the first 5 years of this crisis, we lost 1/4 of our GDP. Today, we are living in, inside the European Union, this place that supposedly takes care of people and has social justice. So in this country, 1 out of 4 children is hungry. And for me, when people ask me, okay, so what is the situation in Greece and what is the best indicator of the crisis? For me, one of the best indicators of the crisis is school meals. We've never had school meals in Greece, never. And during the crisis, just after 2011, many schools had to introduce school meals because there are children going hungry in Greece, in Europe today. And for me, that just shows that there is a big deficit in democracy. It's not us running the place. It's not us making the decisions. And the people who do make the decisions are not even accountable for them. And for me, this is the main thing that we need to talk about. And it's not just in Greece. It's not just in Europe. The situation, I mean, my heart goes out to the Brazilian people. I really I really feel for them. I really feel that, you know, this is a very unjust world that the children are growing up in. And if you look at it, it's a very big beast, you know, that we have to fight. And it looks very big. But at the same time, if you think of a mosquito, it's tiny, but it can keep you up all night. And I think that this is a room full of mosquitoes from all around the world here. So I'd like to thank you for coming here. I think it's important. Some of you got to go on some field trips yesterday and witness some other side of how the people of Greece are trying to battle the situation. I mean, I just want to make you understand that even non-activists, the normal people of Greece, they have to operate in an extremely toxic environment. I'll just give you an example. If you're a new small business owner, you have to prepay 100% of next year's taxation now. And for every 100 euro that comes in as income, the accumulated amount of taxes you have to pay is 70. On top of which you would have to add the salaries, the cost of running your business. So really, what is happening in Greece right now, they're trying to strangulate all the people, employers and business owners alike. This is the time, that's why some of you went to the mining trip yesterday, because this is the time when actually, you know, they've dismantled the society, and now the vultures are just coming to eat up the carcass. So this is why it's very important to do what we do, and this is why it's very important for all of you to be here, because for me, CSA is part of the solution. CSA for me is the Trojan horse. This is how we get to infiltrate the system. This is how we can get the normal, average person to come on board, because food is something that matters to everyone, and food is something that everybody can relate to. And this is how we are going to create the new communities of the future, by uniting people first and foremost from something that we all do or would like to do 3 times a day, and that's eat food. So for me, it's also very important that everything happens with truth, sincerity, and love. So I ask you to open your hearts these days, communicate with each other, share. It's a very rare thing that we all get together. We are here from the 4 corners of the world, and I think that if we allow our love to be expressed and be shown to other people, and care, which is something that I know all of us need. I mean, I would like at the end to have a big universal group hug. So, so welcome, enjoy yourselves, and please also, may I ask you, the last applause, that it shouldn't be for me, but for the team of Greek people here, the volunteers, the staff of Agroecology, the staff of Plus Accounting that have been doing an amazing work to organize all of this. So please give a hand out to them.
Thank you, Jenny, and I think now you understand a little bit better why we are here. And once again, Jenny is somebody who is really gathering a lot of people around the world. Now we want to have a short word from another organization in Greece who has been active in different fields and who is called Neighborhoods in Action. Do you want to come along? Can you present briefly your organization and your main activities? Thank you.
Welcome in Greece. I will speak in Greece because my English are awful. Το όνομά μου είναι Μόνικα Ιβάζογλου. Είμαι εκπρόσωπος της παράταξης, της Δημοτικής Παράταξης Γειτονιές σε Δράση. Είναι μια προσπάθεια της Θεσσαλονίκης να φέρει τον οικολογικό προβληματισμό μέσα στο Δήμο. Δεν ξέρουμε τι έχουμε καταφέρει μέχρι τώρα, αλλά αυτή δεν είναι η συζήτησή μας. Είμαι πάρα πολύ χαρούμενη και πάρα πολύ περήφανη που είσαστε εδώ όλοι σήμερα. Και είμαι πολύ περήφανη γιατί είναι μία συνάντηση που δεν ήρθε να μεταφέρει θεωρία, ήρθε γιατί έχει κάνει την θεωρία πράξη και ήρθαν άνθρωποι να ανταλλάξουν απόψεις πάνω σε αυτή την εμπειρία. Δεν είναι δηλαδή ένα τραπέζι στον αέρα. Υπάρχουν πρακτικές από διάφορες χώρες και ήρθατε εδώ σήμερα να μεταφέρετε αυτές τις απόψεις και ελπίζουμε κάποια από αυτά τα πράγματα να γίνουν πραγματικότητα και εδώ στην Ελλάδα και εδώ στο Δήμο μας. Υπάρχουν πάρα πολλοί άνθρωποι ανάμεσά μας που περιμένουν με αγωνία τα αποτελέσματα αυτής της συνάντησης. Υπάρχουν πολλοί άνθρωποι μέσα στη Θεσσαλονίκη και μέσα στην Ελλάδα που ήδη έχουν ξεκινήσει τη δική τους προσπάθεια πέρα από όλα αυτά τα προβλήματα που σας είπε πιο πριν η Τζέννη, πέρα από όλους αυτούς τους φορολογικούς αποκλεισμούς, να κάνουν τα δικά τους βήματα σε αυτή τη γεωργική επανάσταση. Σας εύχομαι καλή επιτυχία στο συνέδριό σας. Είμαστε δίπλα σας σε ό,τι χρειαστείτε. Ευχόμαστε τα αποτελέσματά σας να φέρουν και για μας ένα καλύτερο αύριο. Καλή συνέχεια, καλή επιτυχία σε ό,τι κάνετε εδώ. Θα είμαστε να παρακολουθήσουμε τα αποτελέσματα. Ευχαριστώ.
Do you know how to say thank you in Greek? So let's learn it. I'm not the best one to tell you. Ευχαριστώ. So can we do it all together? Maybe with the right pronunciation.
Ευχαριστώ. Excellent.
You're doing pretty good. Now we have a special moment because this is not, as you know, the first international symposium we are having. This is not the first European meeting. The last international symposium was 3 years ago in China, and we have here somebody who has been, how to say, the key person behind the previous symposium there in China. We have Dr. Xian. I want you to come to the stage, please. And we have also somebody coming on behalf of the last European meeting, which was in Ostrava 2 years ago, 2016. Jan Waleszka from Czech Republic. I'd like you to give them a big applause because they did also an enormous work for the last symposium and the last European meeting. Xian, do you want maybe just to say a brief word, like transmitting the experience of your symposium that was held around Beijing, and to perhaps say good luck to the organizers today?
Thank you, Jocelyn. Good luck to the organizers here. And I'm really thankful to organizing an international conference, especially for community-supported agriculture in China, because that time, 3 years ago, we have about 700 people in China gathering for the international conference. And it's also very important for us to prepare for our national CSA conference every year, because after that year, every year, especially last year, our 9th national CSA conference, we have about 1,000 people coming for the national gathering every year. So so good luck to Greek people, and maybe you will get more people involved for other events, especially for CSA and agroecology. Thank you.
Thank you, Xian, and thank you and good luck for your organization, your network, and also the farm where you are working, Shared Harvest. I should mention also that Xian is the Vice President of Urgenci, doing a lot of work also, representing the network in many different arenas and forums around the world. Now Jan Waleszka from the Czech Republic will have maybe a kind of secret gift to give to the organizers.
Hello everyone. thanks for the floor. I wouldn't speak long. I just want to say that in 2011, I was in Milano on the first European CSA meeting where I believe we've planted a seed of something, of a thing that has flourished, that has grown through 2014 of the European meeting in France, and 2016 in Ostrava, where it grew to a tree that we wanted to give to the Greek organizers so that they might bring the fruits to the next meeting, maybe in 2 years, we don't know where. And so it's our gift to the whole Greek crew, so that we would like have something binding and something alive here in this artificial environment. And thank you very much, everyone who helped this tree to give fruits and to develop a nicer world that we all want. Thank you very much. Thanks to the Greek organizers. Thanks to the Czech team who invented this relay and brought it all the way from Prague. Have a nice meeting.
You're gonna make me cry, I said so. Lovely. This is. Thank you so much. Can somebody help me because I can't walk very well. Okay, so until this happens, I don't know if we told you that we've organized some very nice things. So we have a video session this evening in another room. Then we also have our amazing farming art or fart group. I know some people object to the name. So we have our amazing farting people who have set up camp in the other building where you did your registration. So behind there, you will find we have set up a camera, because what we want to do is we want to create a video library with messages from everybody in this room. So we've got a set of 4 very simple questions, like what country are you from, and how do you say CSA in your country, what's agroecology for you. So we invite all of you to pass by that place and record your own video, your own message, which we will then be played and used on the Urgenci website. Will make you famous. And also I would like to say that there is, next to where you did the registration, there's another desk where we have some things for sale. Some of the things you will see there, the little pouches and the little like bags, they come from the island of Mytilene, of Lesvos, from a very, very important solidarity center for refugees, where they're using the life jackets of the people that are coming through the sea, and they're making them into pouches and wallets and stuff like that. And we've asked them to send us some things so we can sell them for them, so that we can generate some money. So I would urge you, if you have some money to spare, please go and buy something. It's for a very good cause. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Now, we heard about the situation in Greece. We know the situation in the world. And I'd like to, and somehow I want to stress that here in this room we have hope. We have hope from many different parts of the world. So I'd like to propose a game. I'm going to call each of the countries which are represented in this room, and I will ask you, is there hope in your country? And you should say, scream yes, and stand up. We will start with the country that is identified as the cradle for CSA, with Japan. So, is there hope in Japan? Please tell us. We have the Japanese. Yes. Is there hope in Korea? Yes. Is there hope in China? Is there hope in the Philippines? Yes. Is there hope in India? Yes. Is there hope in Australia? Yes. Is there hope in Canada? I'm going through the Pacific Ocean. Sorry, the CSA around the world trip is a bit like, okay, going west and then east. Is there hope in the United States? There is still hope, yes. Is there hope in Mexico? Si. Is there hope in Brazil? Yeah. Is there hope in Togo? Is there hope in Mali? Is there hope in Burkina Faso? Yes. Is there hope in Morocco? Is there hope in Algeria? Is there hope in Tunisia? Yes. Is there hope in Egypt? Yes, Laura. Is there hope in Palestine? Is there hope in Turkey? Is there hope in Kyrgyzstan? Yes. Is there hope in Romania? Yes, a lot. Is there hope in Hungary? Yeah. Is there hope in Serbia? Yes. Is there hope in Fyrom? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The former Yugoslavian Republic of Macedonia? Yes. I think there is hope there too. Is there hope in Bulgaria? Well, hope is outside, but there is hope in Bulgaria. Is there hope in Croatia? Is there hope in Italy? Still. Is there hope in Spain? España? Is there hope in Portugal? Yes. Is there hope in, I don't know where to go next, in England? Yes, yes. Is there hope in Ireland? Yeah. Yes, so I check my list. Is there hope in France? Is there hope in Belgium? Is there hope in the Netherlands? Yes. Is there hope in Germany? Is there hope in Poland? Yes. Is there hope in Denmark? Yes, yes. Is there hope in Norway? Is there hope in Finland? And I think that's it, except maybe one. Is there hope in Greece? Oh. I'm really sorry, I missed a country. The kind of country, Austria? Ah, yes. Is there hope in Colombia? Is there hope in Austria? Is there hope in Switzerland? I forgot you. I forgot the checks. I'm really sorry. There is no hope there. Yes. So is there hope in the Czech Republic? Yes. Yes, they have the tree of hope. That's true. So I think you could see like we are about 40 countries represented. That's absolutely enormous. And I think this short trip around the world, just through this room, is a good introduction to the next speaker, Elizabeth Anderson, who is the honorary president of Urgenci, who is also well known, I think, by many of you for her book about sharing the harvest, a guide for CSA, for citizens' commitment to CSA. And Elizabeth is going to give us some kind of international background about the movement. Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Does it work now? Ah, okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to speak in English, and I'm so excited to be here with you all. First of all, I was asked to just say a few words about Urgenci. I think if you look in your program, there's the best description that I've ever seen us put together of what Urgenci is. After honing it and polishing it, we finally have a really good description of where we are now. The mission is promoting all forms of partnership between producers and local consumers and community-supported agriculture initiatives as a solution to the challenges associated with the global industrial agricultural production and consumption paradigm. I am the honorary president of Urgenci, and you may ask, why do we need an honorary president? Allow me to explain. Being honorary means that there's an actual president who will address you in a moment, Judith Hitchman, who does all the real work of a president. She travels relentlessly around the globe, persuading, badgering, pressuring international bodies that have committed to sustainable development goals to make them live up to their promises. And my role is to add a little extra. I collect your stories. I'm the historian. So I really want to have someone from every single country answer a series of questions that we are circulating for CSA around the world, because we want to get the whole story of everywhere around the world. So if I haven't gotten your submissions, I will pester you and badger you and use Judith's persuasion to complete the picture, because it's really exciting to be able to have that. And I come to this not with the eyes of a theorist or an academic, but as a practitioner, someone who made my living as a farmer for 32 years, a passionate participant. And looking over the world from my lofty honorary heights, I see that smallholders have not yet turned back the tide of industrial monocrop monopolies of agribusiness. If anything, the empire has extended its grasp. Dark anti-democratic forces are in the ascendant in the United States, in Latin America, parts of Europe, in India. Inequality is at its most extreme in countries like mine. We're back to the era of the robber barons. Growth in the economy goes to the top 1/10 of 1%, and concentration of power in the food system is intensifying. The world's hope for democracy, the United States, has become an oligarchy. Aggregate farm income in the United States in 2017 was half what it was in 2014. Dairy farms especially are struggling, with milk prices under the cost of production even for organic dairy farms. The farm share of the food dollar is shrinking, and more farms every day are going out of business. As in India, there are farmer suicides in Iowa. And recent research shows that over the past decade, an increase in deportations and strict immigration policies have begun to shrink the United States agricultural labor force. The produce industry is currently experiencing $5 billion to $9 billion in annual losses because of lack of labor. Some of you look puzzled. Labor on farms in the United States is not done by US citizens. It's done by desperate people from other countries, and now we're kicking them out. Prices will rise, and the present immigration policies will actually cost shoppers more than if they paid farms enough so that farm workers could make living wages. In countries like France and the United States, where CSA has been flourishing for over a decade, entrepreneurs out for profit have taken notice. If there's something you can make money on, they'll be there. Venture capital moves in, replicating CSA language without the reality. So in the United States, we have One Egg, Blue Apron, Gobble. Gobble's ad reads, "We're flexible, skip weeks, change dishes, and cancel any time. Only order when and what you want. No commitment for busy people. Gobble is a lifesaver. Satisfaction guaranteed." Farmigo ran a food service like that, and then in August last year, they suddenly canceled, leaving the farmers and the consumers high and dry. A brand new study from the Berkeley Labor Center finds that the jobs at these meal kit fulfillment centers have low wages, unstable shifts, and cold, unsafe working conditions. So the difference between what a CSA is and what these meal kits are is very stark. In California, there's an outfit named Imperfect Produce, which has even claimed that they're saving the world by reducing food waste and helping farmers by buying surplus ugly produce that would have been thrown out, while in reality, this produce would have gone not to the landfill, but to hungry people through food banks and food pantries. And thus, they were taking customers away from a real CSA run by Fat Beet, a grassroots not-for-profit that runs the Beatbox CSA, supporting small farmers of color, mostly farming under 50 acres, including one youth farm in the Oakland High School. But luckily, the organization Food First caught on to this and exposed what they were doing. And so all the people who had left Fat Beet CSA for ugly produce came back, and so they saved it. But we have to be really alert to keep these things from happening. And then there's the weather, of course, swinging wildly out of control, making it much harder for all of the farms, all of the people who are trying to grow food around the world. So in September, after Hurricane Michael, I received this email from the Underground Farm in North Carolina. We reluctantly decided not to hold our fall-winter 2018 CSA and will refund all monies previously received. As you can imagine, we're very unhappy to take this action as well. Hurricane Florence hit our farm hard, and also every other farm in Carteret County, indeed nearly all counties in eastern North Carolina. We lost all the crops in the field we had seeded or transplanted, as did the greenhouse that was starting our second and third successions. We lost all our fall-bearing fruit trees, pears, persimmons, apples, and most figs and pecans. And then a month later, the farmers themselves announced that they were retiring. Sadly, Shinji Hashimoto, who has been at all of our other Urgenci international conferences, could not attend this conference from Japan because his farm has experienced such serious weather disturbances again this past year. So these are hard times. But remember people's wisdom. It's darkest before the dawn. And that's where CSA and our worldwide network for food sovereignty comes in. By contrast with all this grim news, and maybe as a consequence of it, CSAs and the movement for food sovereignty continue to spread around the world. We have more countries represented here than we've ever had before. And there's so much exciting activity in Europe. There's no way that, as your historian, I can keep up with all the things that you're doing, the projects, be part of CSA, Solid Base, Eating Craft. It's really wonderful what you're being able to do. And in China next month, they'll be holding the CSA Summit Forum and 10th China Community-Supported Agriculture Conference, organized by the Rural Construction Center of Renmin University, of the China Department of Sociology of Tsinghua University, Rural Regeneration Center of Peking University, CSA Conference Organizing Committee. And it will be held on the 14th through 16th of December in Jiangqi Village, Pidu District, Chengdu, Sichuan Province. CSA is spreading in China as a grassroots movement. It's really something that, for those of us who know about China from a distance, find it really hard to imagine. I've been lucky to see a little bit of it, and maybe I'll get to see more, and we'll share those stories. And in the United States, where farmers of color have lost their land 5 times as fast as white farmers, African American and Latinx farmers are regenerating long unfarmed family land and initiating new farms, and they are probably the fastest growing sector of agriculture in the United States. Leah Penniman and Joseph Vitali Wolf at Soul Fire Farm in Grafton, New York, have transformed sloping fields of heavy clay into terraced permanent beds where their collective grows enough CSAs for a low-income group of people back in their old neighborhood in inner-city Albany. And they conduct popular trainings of Black and Latinx farmers, workshops for at-risk youth as an alternative to incarceration, and they give workshops for white people to help us understand what racism means and how to dismantle it and how to end white supremacy in the United States. The Homeless Garden Project, which is one of the oldest CSAs in the United States, will finally move this next year from a temporary site on land that was lent to them by a developer to a permanent farm on 600 acres of public land, which is part of the Santa Cruz Greenbelt. Their mission: in the soil of our urban farm and garden, people find the tools they need to build a home in the world. This project provides transitional jobs for people who have been homeless, where they learn skills in being employed, where they get back their self-confidence, where they're given work and really healthy food and all kinds of social services. And over the 30 years that this project has been in existence, they've helped hundreds of people get back on their feet. So there is good news. And in Genoa, the Orto Collective is providing work for African immigrants, building terraced gardens on formerly abandoned land near the city, doing urban horticulture, and selling veggie boxes. I looked up the pictures of them, and what they're doing is really beautiful on land that nobody else has wanted to use. So, as so often happens in human history, the best ideas bubble up from the bottom. The greatest wisdom comes from the most afflicted. So we are here in Greece where you've lost your financial sovereignty. But necessity is the mother of invention. And to cope with austerity, you are leading the way to local food sovereignty. And there's so much that we can learn here and so much that we can teach one another. So welcome one and all to this wonderful conference and let the proceeds go on.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now let's see if I'm better with the groups that are in this room than in geography, where I didn't pass the test, I think. So I think we have many different groups, stakeholders, activists. I'd like to know if we have any farmers in this room. Farmers, are you here? Yeah. A lot of farmers. Do we have eaters, consumers? I don't know how to say, des mangeurs. Yes. Do we have gardeners? Gardeners, are you here? Les jardiniers? Yes? That's it? Really? Okay. Do we have fishers? Yes. Do we have researchers? Maybe some? Do we have CSA network staff? Yes? What are the other constituencies? The beekeepers, okay, we can have the beekeepers now. Pastoralists, we have a group about pastoralists, yes. Okay, so you can see we have really a lot of different groups. We even have poets, how do you say? Poets, stand up. We have artists, a lot of artists actually. Now I want to move to the next speaker after we saw the huge geographical diversity, the huge cultural diversity, and the huge constituency diversity. I want to have a few words by Judith Hitchman, who is our president, who is nicknamed the Pink Lady all around the world because, you know, she's on Tuesday, she's in Minsk, the next day she's in New York, the week after she's in Nairobi, then she is back to Ireland or France or whatever. So she's really spending her time in different transportation means for us, for our movement. So a big applause and cheering for Judith, please.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you to our amazing professional volunteer interpreters for giving us their time and their talent. Thank you to Thessaloniki for hosting us as well, because it's important we're here. Jocelyn's right, I've got a terrible carbon footprint. But when I travel, I don't travel alone. In my head, I travel with 2 million people standing behind me. Several of the people have mentioned the context we're living in and the challenges we're facing. We have rarely in the history of our planet faced such a difficult situation between the political situation, the rise of the far right. Here in Greece, we heard about the threat of Golden Dawn coming back. In Brazil, the election of Bolsonaro. The landless people's movement is already being criminalized, and I'm happy to say that our international committee sent off a letter of support yesterday for them. All over the world, we are facing some very tough situations. We're also facing another huge threat which nobody mentioned, which is climate change. And CSA plays a really critical role in fighting climate change because we all work with agroecological methods, organic agriculture and agroecology, use an approach that fights climate change, that fights water scarcity, and also because it is local, we use far less fossil fuel to pick up our food. These are things that we will have to face increasingly over the years to come, and which we've worked on particularly with our Mediterranean network, because that is one of the regions that is hardest hit. However, as Jocelyn said, there is a huge amount of hope. Liz mentioned food loss and waste. The only way we can do away with it is by doing away with the industrial system that is overproducing vast amounts of food. We already can feed the planet, and we will be able to feed the planet in 2050 on condition we change our way of living and our way of eating. And CSA is a vital lever for that. It's one of the reasons why we have so much recognition, because people, through the advocacy we've been doing, and it's not just me, there is a team of people who do advocacy. There's Isa and there are other people from Urgency who regularly step up. Xi'an was already mentioned. She'll be going to Rome again in 2 weeks' time to speak about how CSA is so powerful in fighting all of these issues and in helping to build a peaceful system change. Because I think it's also important that we work from the dual input with the global solidarity economy movement, and it's one of the reasons why we have a solidarity economy track in this conference, and also with the other food sovereignty movements, because we never work alone. We work in alliances with our members in different countries, but also with the other food sovereignty movements, most of whom are represented here today, the Via Campesina, the fishers, the indigenous people. We all work together on building strategy. These are things that you will learn about in our advocacy track. And the key lever for doing this is really agroecology. And I'm really, really happy to say that FAO, through our work, collectively, and I mean, it's not just Urgency, but collectively, now recognizes CSA to a very, very high extent. In the 10 Principles of Agroecology that the FAO published recently, they mentioned both solidarity economy and community-supported agriculture. That is the result of 10 years of advocacy. It really is. Somebody said in a meeting we had here 2 days ago in our Voices for CSA, which is our training program in Europe for CSA, is it worth it? The answer is the results are incremental. You see this, and then you see this, then you see this. It's not an immediate payoff, but it is so, so important that we are out there, that we put ourselves out there with pride. Because, you know, looking at this room, I can't even start to tell you what I feel. It's really amazing to see Urgency that has gone from being a troubled child through a teenage period, and now I think today we are an adult social movement fully recognized at global level, and we should be proud of ourselves. You have all made huge contributions, and this is who we are. So essentially, we are making inroads. We're part of the agroecology movement. We work on policy, and we do it, as I said, as an inclusive, peaceful movement. I also want to say how happy I am about one specific thing here today. In Beijing, one of the things that we accepted in our policy plan was to work towards community-supported fisheries as a sister parallel which is highly developed in North America. I don't know if Joshua Stoll is here yet. Thank you, Joshua, for coming. There are 2,000 CSFs in North America. We can learn around the world from them. And we have, I'm so happy that we have a group of fishers from around Europe here, and we are going to see if we can also work not just on community-supported agriculture, but on community-supported fisheries together. So Jocelyn said I wasn't to talk about politics, I was to do an introduction on the conference. But I took the liberty of just saying a few things. So we have 3 tracks.
Let me say what?
We have essentially 3 tracks in this conference, 3 main tracks. Today is the international conference part. The 3 tracks are, first of all, the solidarity economy track, which is based on food justice, CSA in a context of crisis, and solidarity economy and agroecology as the pillars of CSA. The second track, and the 2 people who will be leading it, if you'd like to stand up and wave your hands, are Elizabeth Henderson and Jason Nardi, who is the General Secretary of RIPES, which is the Global Solidarity Economy Network, and Urgenci is a board member of RIPES representing food sovereignty within that context. The second track is advocacy. It is CSA and institutional processes. It will be somebody from... Who is the other person working on that with me? Isa? Who's Isa? Where is she? Isa is the person I work most closely with all the time, and it's going to be great for the 2 of us. We are leading that through the institutional processes, nurturing public policies, and building a CSA coalition through our alliances. The third track is the practitioners track, because many people are perhaps more interested in developing the practical aspects of CSA. So it is CSA and the Commons, which is a vitally important thing, training for CSA, and alternative certification. And by the way, one thing which I forgot to mention in the more political part, to just complete one little aspect, because we didn't mention Africa and the different aspects of development. And in Africa, the big struggle is land, seeds, and water. And there's a major caravan that is going to be going through several West African countries starting in 2 days' time. And part of the caravan will be leaving Simon's farm. So we are really active there. And also in Latin America, recently we had the first Mexican CSA gathering. David, I saw you standing up in the back. I don't know if Josefina is here yet, but that was really important. And in Brazil, I was there very recently, and I was in a workshop. Somebody said, oh, yeah, there are 60 CSAs in Brazil now. And I got on my Facebook Messenger and wrote to Ariel. I said, 60? He said, no, it's 100 now. So, you know, all over the world. And I talked to Xi'an a few days ago. I said, okay, so there are 800 CSAs in China. She said, no, there are 1,000. So every time I turn around, there are more and more and more. And I've heard there's going to be a Dutch network starting up soon. I just heard that this morning. So it's all incredibly dynamic. It moves all the time. Yes, it's a struggle, but we're here together, and we have 2 days plus our General Assembly where we will draw up the next 3 years' work plan. So thank you all again for coming and being here and being with me. even if you're not with me physically all the time, you're with me in my head all the time.
Thank you, Judith. Before we close the opening plenary, there are a few announcements to make. One is about communication. We have a lot of people who would have loved to come, especially farmers, but who are busy, who cannot be with us. We have different ways of sharing what is happening here with them. We have the social networks, so you can find in your brochure and also on this board a few hashtags that can be used on the social networks to share your pictures and the key messages, what you are learning here. We also have live streaming that Jenny is going to explain in a second. Before I give the floor to the other announcements, I also wanted to say something about finances. Sorry about that, but just to tell you that as usually within Urgenci, we try to have meetings that are very inclusive. So we are not asking for a fee, we are asking for contributions. And we are doing it based on voluntary contributions, mostly. Right now, we are not breaking even for this event, so I really invite you, if you have any possibility, and if you didn't do it yet, to contribute to the event. You can come to me anytime to tell me how you want to contribute financially speaking, because I know you are already contributing a lot as a participant. And so then we have a couple of announcements to hear about. Maybe we start with Tim, if he's around. Tim, are you in the room? Tim is coming, and a big applause to Tim, one of the key persons behind this event.
Thank you. Very briefly. So, the lunch will take place today. The lunch will take place here, just outside, in the sun. Depending regarding the weather, we might have the dinner here or somewhere else. For tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we will take the meals in the other building, the school, by the waterfront. That's the most pressing. If you owe money to Urgenci for the food or the accommodation, come see me. If I owe you money for visa or some travel issue, come see me too. Yeah, maybe don't come. Yeah, so the food will be served here. No, I think that's for now. That's it.
Thank you, and thank you, Tim. Tim has been working for Urgenci for a couple of months already, and did really an amazing job for this conference to take place and to bring all of you here. Thank you, Tim. Thanks a lot. Now, who's next? Gael, maybe? Gael Bigler is from Switzerland, and she has a few words to say about artistic activities.
So, I'll speak in French.
Bravo.
I usually work in English, but this time I'll speak in French, so excuse me. On a voulu mettre en place des activités artistiques pour les pauses. On a trouvé que c'était important de vous laisser vous exprimer, aussi par des images, par d'autres moyens. Donc il y a différentes possibilités. On a la chance d'avoir 2 artistes qui sont venus exprès à Thessalonique pour vous permettre de créer des cartes postales. Donc elles sont allées cueillir des plantes et vous allez pouvoir créer des cartes postales vous-même et les envoyer pour envoyer des messages, du plaidoyer, pour proposer à des gens d'essayer des CSA. Donc ça a lieu dehors. Une autre activité, c'est de customiser vos t-shirts avec des beaux logos CSA Beyond Borders. Et une autre activité qu'on va faire, c'est une bibliothèque vivante. Je ne sais pas qui connaît. L'idée, c'est d'emprunter un livre et de le lire, sauf que les livres, c'est vous. Vous choisissez une histoire, vous choisissez une idée, un rêve, et vous partagez. C'est-à-dire que quelqu'un vous emprunte et lit votre histoire. Donc vous aurez un petit papier, vous pouvez venir vers moi et écrire le titre de votre livre. Ça peut être dans la langue que vous voulez, il faut peut-être juste écrire dans votre langue préférée. Et donc l'idée, et je vous invite aussi les interprètes, si ça vous fait envie de partager un moment ou une histoire sur ou un souhait, un rêve. Donc l'idée c'est ça. Donc on peut faire ça dehors, on peut faire ça aussi dedans. Donc vous pouvez venir vers moi si vous voulez que je vous explique mieux ce que c'est. Est-ce que je vous... Non, je crois pas.
Is that it?
Pardon,
yeah, tonight.
Voilà. Je me disais bien que j'oubliais quelque chose, heureusement que tu me rappelles. On organise pour la 2e fois un festival de courts-métrages sur le thème de l'agriculture soutenu par les citoyens. Donc beaucoup d'entre vous nous ont envoyé des courts-métrages, des films. Donc on va les projeter ce soir en exclusivité mondiale à Thessalonique. Une sélection de films. Et donc si ça vous intéresse vraiment, Nico a coordonné ça. Nico, tu peux lever la main comme ça on te voit. Donc si vous êtes intéressé à avoir accès à des petits films sur l'agriculture contractuelle, sur les partenariats locaux et solidaires, vous pouvez aller le voir. Donc il y en a dans différentes langues, mais on a fait attention d'avoir des sous-titres en anglais en tout cas. Tu veux dire quelque chose?
We have only a couple of hours, so it's going to be a very short selection. Hopefully we would screen the maximum short documentaries, but we'll see how it goes. So if the movie that you propose is not screened tonight, we'll find a way either to screen it in a hotel or to give people the link to your piece. So don't worry, we'll do our best to feature all the movies as much as we can.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So there will be, as usually, a lot happening between the sessions and outside of the rooms, which is really great. I just want to give you again the information about the rooms for today, the 3 plenaries, the 3 tracks, sorry. Solidarity Economy will be in the room called Elia, which is upstairs. It's the city council room. You will have to go through this door left, and then you will see some signs on the 2nd floor. Practitioners will be in this room. This room is called Gaia. Important. And the advocacy track will be in the room called Water Room, which is in a different building. You have to go out through this door. You will see some sign. You take left. And then right, you will find a place. We put some signs around. Now, I want to have a word from the Vice Mayor of the Municipality of Thessaloniki. I think it's very important to have a word by a municipality that is hosting us here. That's so amazing, you know, to be in this building. I think in any city in France, it will be, in my country, it would be very difficult actually to host a meeting in a municipality room, in a city hall. So I'd like to ask you, please, to tell us what contribution you saw from our movement for your municipality, or how do you see the support from the municipalities to such a movement as the agroecology and CSA movement? Please, can I ask you to come to the front? Thanks a lot for joining us today. Are you going to speak in Greek?
You prefer Greek? Okay. It's all Greek to the people, that's why. Okay. Welcome, bienvenue, herzlich willkommen in Thessaloniki. So I don't know how many languages are covered. I'm going to switch now in Greek. Σας καλωσορίζουμε στο Δημαρχείο της Θεσσαλονίκης. Εγώ λέγομαι Γιώργος Δημαρέλος, είμαι ο Αντιδήμαρχος Αστικής Ανθεκτικότητας και Αναπτυξιακών Προγραμμάτων του Δήμου Θεσσαλονίκης. Με πολύ μεγάλη χαρά φιλοξενούμε ένα τέτοιο event στο Δήμο Θεσσαλονίκη. Τώρα θα μου πείτε γιατί μιλάω εγώ σε αυτό και γιατί σας υποδέχομαι εγώ και χαιρετίζω. Αυτό το οποίο θέλω να σας πω είναι ότι αν και είμαστε ένας καθαρά αστικός δήμος, στον οποίο ενδεχομένως κάποιος να θεωρούσε ότι δεν υπάρχει και ιδιαίτερη σχέση με αυτό το κίνημα, ή και να υπάρχει και θα τη μάθουμε και με πολύ μεγάλη χαρά να συμβάλλουμε, εμείς στον Δήμο Θεσσαλονίκης έχουμε εκπονήσει μια στρατηγική για την πόλη για το έτος του 2030. Τι θέλουμε να κάνουμε μέχρι το 2030? Έχουμε 4 πυλώνες ανάπτυξης. Δεν θα μιλήσω για τον κάθε πυλώνα ανάπτυξης γιατί δεν σας αφορά. Σας αφορά όμως ο ένας ο πυλώνας, ο οποίος έχει να κάνει με αυτό το οποίο λέμε συμμετοχική πόλη. Για εμάς δηλαδή η ιστορία της προώθησης της αγροτικής οικονομίας και οτιδήποτε σχετίζεται με τον αγροτικό τομέα, εκτός από τα προφανή ωφέλη τα οποία έχουν να κάνουν με την διαφύλαξη της τροφής στις επόμενες μέρες και στα επόμενα χρόνια, γιατί ξέρετε πολύ καλύτερα από μένα, και αυτό είναι κάτι το οποίο όπου και να πηγαίνεις όλοι μιλάνε για διάφορα, αλλά δεν μιλάνε για αυτό το οποίο λέμε ο ελέφαντας στο δωμάτιο. Ο ελέφαντας στο δωμάτιο είναι ότι ο πληθυσμός της γης έχει εξαπλασιαστεί τον τελευταίο αιώνα. Αντιμετωπίζουμε και είμαστε αντιμέτωποι μπροστά σε καταστάσεις που μπορούμε να δούμε στο μέλλον, στις οποίες το φαγητό από μόνο του θα είναι μια πολύ σημαντική κατάκτηση για τον καθένα από εμάς να βρει. Και αυτό δεν το καταλαβαίνει κανείς, το εξετάζουμε επιδερμικά όταν μιλάμε για διάφορα θέματα. Άρα η οποιαδήποτε καλλιέργεια συνείδησης στον κόσμο να έρθει πολύ πιο κοντά με το φαγητό απευθείας είναι πολύ σημαντικό για εμάς. Εντάξει, συγγνώμη. Τέλος πάντων, αυτό είναι το κομμάτι για την ουσία του θέματος. Παρελκόμενο αυτού για εμάς είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό αυτό το οποίο λέμε λοιπόν η κοινωνική συμμετοχή και community building. Μας ενδιαφέρει μέσω των ανοιχτών χώρων όποιοι και είναι αυτοί σε έναν δήμο σαν της Θεσσαλονίκης, να μπορέσουμε να δώσουμε κίνητρα στον κόσμο έτσι ώστε να έρθει πιο κοντά με τη φύση, να έχει το δημικό του χώρο, να τον καλλιεργεί. Είπαμε όχι τόσο πολύ τόσο για το φαγητό, έτσι ώστε να μπορεί να γίνει μια συμμετοχική γειτονιά. Αυτό μας ενδιαφέρει πάρα πολύ και για τη στρατηγική που έχουμε για την ενσωμάτωση του προσφυγικού. Έχουμε δημιουργήσει ήδη μια ομάδα εργασίας στο Δήμο Θεσσαλονίκης, η οποία ασχολείται με το θέμα των αστικών λαχανόκηπων και προφανώς και αποζητούμε την στήριξη και τη συμπαράσταση από όλους τους φορείς οι οποίοι μπορούν να μας βοηθήσουν προκειμένου να πετύχουμε σε αυτό το κοινωνικό εγχείρημα. Σας εύχομαι πολύ καλή επιτυχία στη συνάντησή σας και να είστε σίγουροι ότι εμείς θα είμαστε εδώ για να μπορέσουμε να βοηθήσουμε με όποιον τρόπο είναι δυνατό στα εγχειρήματά σας. Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ, κύριε Δημαρέλο. We will take you up on that. For sure. Okay, so just one thing before the next surprise we have for you. So I just want you to know that this is the first time that in such an event we've been able to arrange for live streaming. So all this time that we've been here, people have been able to watch us from all around the world. And we could not have done that. I mean, we've got great support here in Thessaloniki. So we've got the people from the national radio and TV broadcasting helping us with wanting anything. These are people that are activists like us. A few years back, during the crisis, the National Broadcasting Association was brought down for 2 years. And the people that are here manning the cameras, they are part of the people that kept it alive for 2 years. And I have to stop because Joanna needs to come in and explain. This is a traditional inauguration of the fields before we're starting. And so they are now blessing our conference. Please welcome them.
The Mystica, it's about how to... It's about protecting the land. It's about protecting the land. This is how people in the old ages just danced around the land to bless. It's a tradition.
Thank you so much. These people come from here, from the north of Greece. This is a very old tradition of blessing the land before they start sowing. So we thought it would be a very nice way to bless our conference before we start sowing our seeds as well. You've all received a leaflet. These people were here, you know, for free, and it was very difficult to get them to come from a different city so early in the morning. So we thank them so much. And I hope that really this will bring blessings to our conference as well.
Thank you, Jenny. Evaristo, I think the soil, the field will be fertile now. I'm sure you are here. I really wish you a good conference, and please share your hope beyond borders. Thank you. Last minute announcement, sorry.
No. Okay. Anyway, hi, I'm Christine. I'm from Agroecology. I think you all have a vase. So we have 0 waste for the whole event, the 3 days. You can use it either for water, for tea, or for coffee. You all need to know that the coffee breaks will take place outside this. To the right, there is fair trade filter coffee, and there is Greek herbal tea from 3 different herbs. It's a Greek thing, and in case you want some different kind of coffee, you will have to buy it through the business who is in the city hall, and you will have an extra discount if you show this. Okay, if you want some different besides this. As for the lunch and dinner, the lunch will be out here. We will inform you for today, because now it's Friday, and everything, you know, works around, so we don't gonna do anything else. And for tomorrow, it will be a different place, and we'll let you know. If there's anything you need to ask, you can ask either me or the people who wear this green are the volunteers. You can ask them whatever you want. Thank you very much.
And a big applause for Christina, who has been doing really an amazing job. Thanks a lot. Now, the next session starts, let's say, at 11, theoretically speaking. We are not so late on the schedule, which is really good. So there is a break. I'd like to ask those who didn't register yet to go through the registration during the break, please. And I also have a last-minute announcement about a meeting for LGBT community, an open meeting which will be at noon, close to the forum, nearby the trees, right? And a last announcement by Coati, and I think we will be over.
So please keep your receivers and take them to the room where you are going. Don't leave them in the bathroom. Don't leave them where you drink your coffee. Don't forget them anywhere. Take them to the room, and then we will collect them back at the end of the day.
And once again, share your hope beyond borders. Thank you.
Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας ανέβασε στο φεγγάρι. Μας έβαλε μέσα στα μεγάλα γεγονότα. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ μας έφερε χρώμα. Ανέβασε την Ελλάδα ψηλά να τη βλέπει όλος ο κόσμος. Πρώτη η ΕΡΤ έφερε στις τηλεοράσεις μας εικόνα υψηλής ευκρίνειας Και σήμερα, πρώτη ΕΡΤ μας ανοίγει παράθυρο στη νέα εποχή της υβριδικής τηλεόρασης. Εκατοντάδες ώρες τηλεοπτικού προγράμματος on demand. Νέα υβριδικά κανάλια με συναρπαστικό, αποκλειστικό περιεχόμενο. Χρηστικές εφαρμογές που κάνουν πιο εύκολη την καθημερινότητα. Και όλα αυτά ελεύθερα, δωρεάν, διαδραστικά. Ετοιμαστείτε για μια νέα, καλύτερη τηλεοπτική εμπειρία. ΕΡΤ υβριδική. Πρώτα από την ΕΡΤ.